Hi, everybody. Okay, so most of you know that my husband and I recently went on a cruise, and I wanted to put up a video to show you the cruise, okay? Here we go. Very nice. Oh, I love this. The new port. We were on the Disney Dream. We flew into Fort Lauderdale and we went to the port, and it's a brand new port. So they signed us in and gave us these round things on our shirts that you see called Concierge. So as you can see, it's a beautiful area, but we didn't stop in this area. After we checked in and went through the metal detectors and had our pictures taken, they walked us up to this area. So after you get upstairs as concierge, you can look down on everybody else who's coming in. Look at this, brand new port. And you turn around and here's the concierge area. One of the perks of concierge is you can show up whenever you like. And another perk is they give you free water and drinks while you're waiting. So now we're sitting in the concierge lounge drinking Evian water and Diet Coke, listening to Disney music while we're waiting to get on the ship. We're going to be one of the first ones on the ship.
Disney Cruise Line, please join us in welcoming our family of the day. They will help us begin the boarding process. From Philadelphia, please welcome aboard the Fox family.
So yes, we were one of the first families on the ship. And here's what happened when we got to the top after we crossed over. I mean, just beautiful. Okay, watch this.
Family! Disney Dream, please welcome the Garmin family.
Wow.
Disney Dream, please welcome the West family.
So while everybody else was lining up for hamburgers and hot dogs, we had a private luncheon at the Royal Palace. I can't even tell you what everything was. I think that was an empanada. This was a salad. It was great, but I didn't want to fill up on a salad. This was some sort of a soup leek, I think it was. It was delicious. Of course, you know me. I went right for the steak for my boarding on. Husband had this for dessert to welcome us on board. It was just beautiful. The Disney Dream is just a beautiful ship. Next, we headed to the cabin. Okay, and now we're going down.
Look, our luggage is here.
The luggage is here already. Wow, that's crazy. We just came from that fabulous lunch. And here's our luggage. And here's our room. Welcome home. Husband opens the door. Okay, so you come in the front door of our cabin. This is pretty cool. You open this door and you have a full bathroom here with a full shower, which is really nice so that hubby and I can actually get ready at the same time. This is pretty cool. And there's lots of doors, but essentially that's a small closet. That's a small closet. That's a big closet with a safe. Bathrobes they gave us. You continue on down. You have a desk here. If we had somebody staying with us, this would come down into another bed. Then you come here into our living room area. And of course, this is attaching door to the next room in case, we were with anybody else. And then you come around the corner and you've got our dining room. We have a separate bedroom. Wait, honey. And you come into the bathroom. And as you can see, we have a TV in the middle of the mirror. That's pretty cool. So I never have to worry about, missing anything while I'm in here getting ready. You have another large shower and another toilet. Love it. Let's go take a look outside, guys. Oh my. Here is our deck. We have our own private, look at the size of this deck. And now here's the killer part. That is glass. And that's glass. So if it's raining, we could probably still sit out here and really enjoy the weather. Only downside to this particular cabin is you can see right into the next cabin. So We had a beautiful fruit basket, and also they had filled our fridge with the drinks that we requested. They also gave us lanyards, which we didn't use because we had wristbands and a bag. The ship was absolutely gorgeous. We started exploring. We saw some murals. We saw where the Walt Disney Theater was located. We saw some of the most unbelievable candy shops on this ship. I mean, if you're diabetic, this is absolutely not the place to be. I mean, look at that. Oh my God. Even looking at it now, you know. Okay, then we had the muster call. You know, you got to show how to put on your life vest. And then we headed up to the Concierge Lounge. Let me show you a little bit of that. Now, you guys should know that there's a Concierge Lounge. If you're not concierge, you can't come in. And this is what you look at when you first walk in. And you walk down, and they have an actual desk here with somebody to help you if you're having any kind of an issue. And then they have really cool artwork, and they have all the food. It's really cool. They have all kinds of nibbles that they trade out every 4 hours. And when you leave the concierge area, there's a door that takes you up to here. So only concierge families can come up here. Oh yeah. There's a hot tub, sun deck. There's a little shower over there. Amazing. And look, they even provide sunblock. The idea is, you know how usually you're crowded on the decks looking for a chair? Not here. They also provide free soda, free water, and anything else. So when you come out of that area by a door, which you have to have a key to get in, I believe this is the adult only section. You can see the port that we're leaving from. This entire deck area here, it's very windy, but this entire deck area is for adults only. You have to be 18 or older to be up here. This is where we'll be hanging out. When you come this way, you see the stack that somebody is going to get to stay in, not us, obviously. Look, there's Goofy over there. There's the water coaster. Let's go down. So as we're walking down, we see that Deck 11 is also for guests 18 and older. This whole area is for us. Yes. They have a water coaster on the ship for kids. Look at this. It goes all the way down around. And we came down to the other area, which is general population, and this is what you have. So while we were at our private luncheon, this is what the rest of the ship was doing. That is crazy. Yeah, we'll be in the adult-only area. We will not be down here. They're getting ready to have the party as we leave. Water coaster. Now we got a glass of wine and got comfortable waiting to leave, but something happened and the ship was massively delayed. So instead, we decided to go down to dinner. This is what was waiting for us at the bottom. And this young lady, listen to this. And when the restaurant opened, we walked in and this is how we were greeted.
Good evening, everybody. And then the table number 91. Table 91.
Can I take your...
Yeah, my husband ran off and left me with all the drinks.
Good evening.
Hi. Oh my God. Beautiful.
Hello, good evening. Good evening.
Hi. Beautiful. Wow. This again, an absolutely beautiful restaurant. The food was great. I can't remember everything we ate, but let's see if we can try. By the way, the colors changed during the meal. Yeah, I don't remember everything we ate. For me, it had steak. This was some sort of tomato soup. Look how red it was. I didn't like it, which is odd for me. I love tomato soup. You know, that was my dinner. Once again, I always went for the steak. And dessert, that was some sort of a pecan pie. It was really good. After that, we went to a private reception for people who are Disney Point members. In one of these lounges. It was beautiful. Once again, the alcohol was blue with sparkles in it. I don't know how they did that. Then we went into the theater to watch the show. They have Broadway style shows. So we came down in a private elevator. We got our fresh popcorn and we're waiting for general admission for everybody else to come in. Pretty cool. That's right. Another perk, free popcorn that they're normally charging $3.75 each to. All right. Now we noticed when we got back that each side of the bed had a mat and slippers for us to use. Here's what we saw the next morning. We just walked out. It's like 7:30 in the morning. Good morning. And this is what we see. Oh my God. High today of 84 degrees. The sun is coming up. Look at this. Oh God. We are getting ready to go for breakfast. Life is good. So we're up for breakfast the next day. Very interesting. That fruit was on everybody's table. Husband likes corned beef hash. Let's not even go there. And I like the make your own omelet with really delicious stuff in it. And then we went back to our room. Just back from breakfast. I love this. Beautiful. It was a Marvel Day at sea. So what they had done was amazing. So it's Marvel Day at sea for superheroes, and they have transformed the ship, literally. I mean, they have changed everything. They've put up all this superhero stuff, and they've lit lights. I mean, it's just insanity. And the music playing is all superhero stuff. I mean, they've changed everything, and then you come along, wow, it's like all superhero. And what they did was they took the normal walls and they put up this fake brick stuff with this is just insane what they've done. Attention to detail is amazing. Like, here's the lounge we were in last night for Disney and for, vacation club members, and all of a sudden it's turned into a superhero photo shoot area. Pretty cool. Hi. So we decided, let's just go relax for the day. So if you go Concierge, this is what you get. You get a private deck on the adult-only area, but this is Concierge, so even the adult-only people can't come in here. My husband pointed those out. It looks like they pipe air conditioning out, to make sure that the guests stay nice and cool. How crazy is that? But we had our own hot tub. Our first night at sea, we made reservations to go eat at a restaurant called Remy's. It is based on the movie Ratatouille, and it's French food. I've never had French food. And what they do is they bring you little portions, but you end up with 9 courses. I'm not kidding. I was literally sick when I left. Yeah, $25,000 bottles of wine there. So the touches in the restaurant were great. We sat down. We had an amazing view of the ocean while we were eating. The ride was smooth. The first thing they did was bring us some sort of a drink. Yeah. Dried pineapple. It's fizzing in the bottom. Pretty cool. Since I can't tell you what all the food is, I'm just going to show you. Here you go. Yes, that was a cheese tray. And so we had 2 plates full of cheese. Now, I can't even begin to tell you about the desserts, but it got to the point where as we were leaving, I think that was like, I'm not kidding, real gold, like on top of some of the chocolates and on top of some of the candy. By the time we left, I felt so ill. Like, too ill. You know what I mean? Like it was too much food. There were so many courses. And even though they were small and you thought you'd leave hungry, you left ill from too much food. But I highly recommend it. But this was an extra $300 for 2 people on top of what we paid to get onto the cruise. So if you go on a Disney cruise, definitely try Remy's. It's definitely worth the experience of it, even if you don't like French food. Okay, all right, let's move on now. So we finished at the restaurant. We headed back to our room, and they make things out of the towels, and they made Thor's hammer because after all, it was Marvel Day at sea. All right, next day we get up, we're relaxing, it is time to get off the ship, and we are in Cozumel, and we decide to go to a chocolate making session. We've made it to Cozumel. And it is beautiful, a little overcast with a breeze. There's the ship. Wow. There's the ship we were on with the kids 20 years ago. And look at the water. It's like so clear. You can see the fish down there. Look at that. It's crazy. So you have to walk through the shopping area to get to where you're going. It looked like there was a storm coming in the distance, but it never materialized. Anyway, we got to the back of the pier and we met up with the people. We pull up, this is what it looks like. Look at this. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We are gonna use a grinder per couple.
Okay. Okay.
So just
Okay. So we each took a seat in front of a grinder as pairs, and then they offered each of us some sort of a chocolate alcoholic drink that I tried. Really delicious. You guys know I usually don't drink, but on this trip I was getting into it. We got a whole thing on chocolate, where it came from, how it's made, and then they had us make chocolate. I'm not kidding. We broke up the beans, put them in the grinder. Here you go.
Go, honey. Go.
So this is what coffee actually looks like. I had no idea that this is what it looks like right when they first grind it. And if you eat it, it's disgusting. It's like really, yeah. So they have you put gloves on, and believe it or not, they turned off the air conditioning because it's got to stay warm. And they had you warm it with your hands, and they added vanilla to it, and they added sugar to it, and you keep mushing it with your hands and keeping it, it's supposed to look shiny in your hand. And then we put it into some forms. I don't know any other way to say that. Now we've added sweetener, and this is still raw sugar. You wouldn't want, raw chocolate. You wouldn't want to eat this. Ew. So we decorated the chocolate and they took it aside because now it was time to start with the taste testings. Yes, we were taste testing wine with chocolate.
first aroma we have is the bouquet of the wine, and this wine is supposed to smell like green apples, pineapple, and pear.
Now, I have to be honest, you guys know I love chocolate, but I really don't like alcohol that much, especially red wine. Ew. But she kept giving you different chocolates. They got sweeter and sweeter with different kinds of red and white wine. And by the end of the trip, they gave us chocolate cake. I couldn't even finish it. But by the end of the day, I was feeling it. That's all I can say. So if you get the chance, I highly recommend this particular excursion. It was really, really cool. Then we got back to the room and we found bandanas because it was pirate night. They're playing Pirates of the Caribbean songs. Oh my Lord. So here we are now, our third night at sea, and we decided to eat at Paolo's, which is the Italian restaurant on board, also an extra expense. We're pulling away from Cozumel, all the way out there in the distance. And we're waiting for dinner at our restaurant for tonight, which is Paulo's. And look at that, beautiful. That's beautiful. The sunsets were beautiful. The ocean was calm the entire trip. It was like glass. We were thoroughly enjoying ourselves and looking forward to this dinner. So this is the chandelier we saw when we first walked in, made in Italy. Once again, we had a fabulous view from our table out into the ocean. Once again, I cannot tell you everything that we ate, but there are a few items that I'd like to point out. Number one was the bread. It was good, not as good as the French bread, I'm not going to lie, but it was, it was okay. Then came the cheese, with the mozzarella and the balsamic, this huge slab of cheese, amazing. Of course, I bet you could guess whose dinner that was. This was my dessert. What she did was literally punch a hole in the chocolate souffle, and I chose the vanilla sauce, and she poured that into it. Unbelievable. That alone made it worth every penny. This was so good. My husband had tiramisu, and this is what came. It wasn't that great, and he didn't eat it. Pirate night continued the next night, and we decided to go down and see what was happening on the Disney deck, where the pool was. Look at this.
Pirate's favorite song? Let 'em rock, sing along.
So to finish our night, our room steward gave us a headless animal and some chocolate coins. And that, my friends, is the end of night 3. I hope you guys will stick with us for the second part of the vacation, which should come out next week or the week after. All right, I hope everybody has a fabulous day.